So I'd like to go over a simple skill for working through anxiety right now, and this is called a grounding technique. We know that relinquishing our desire for certainty and control is easier than said than done. If you feel yourself start to spin out of control and into negativity or panic, this simple grounding technique can be used to stop the negative spiral and allow your rational brain to come back online. We're going to practice a simple grounding technique right now, okay? So this technique is simple yet effective. I'm going to ask you to bring your attention to your breath and to your body. Focus all of your attention on the here and the now, noticing the sights and the sounds and the smells around you. Notice what you're feeling and how you're feeling. Notice how your body feels in the chair that you're sitting in. I want you to breathe slowly in and out and try to notice some things around your surroundings. You can choose different things. So let's say perhaps we want to do round things. So a grounding technique might include look around your surroundings for anything that might be round. Okay? Now you might decide to choose a color. So in your surroundings, look for anything that might be yellow. Or if it's your favorite color, look for something that might be green. Try to pick out all the green things in your surroundings. When our thoughts spiral out of control and we get into the habit of excessive worrying or excessive panic, it's often good to remember that we're in a safe place. And the grounding techniques help you remember where you are in the current moment in time and space. So you're in a safe place. You know that those are the round things in your room. Those are the green things in your room. This is the carpet that you picked out. You know, this is your safe place. This is your safe environment. It may seem simple, but sometimes just connecting with your physical environment can be enough to help you focus on your thoughts rather than focusing on your worries. So try that. Practice that a little bit on your own. But I really want you to focus on the breathing, the in and the out. Breathing is something we do naturally, but it is one of the most effective stress-reducing and self-soothing techniques that we know of. All right, try that. If you're curious about how to find some more grounding techniques or more coping skills or more self-soothing skills, please reach out to me, call or text or email. My information will be at the end of this video. Thank you. During this time of increased stress and anxiety and fear, it's important for us to revisit the signs, symptoms, and the red flags associated with suicide. We know that we never want to think that someone in our lives might be considering self-harm or suicide, but the reality is that people do. People do complete suicide. And in times like this, when stress is increased, it's important for us to be on the lookout, okay? So let's go over some of the warning signs. When we see that people are stressed out to the max, when they are struggling with some anxiety issues, when there's possible health, wealth, or family-related issues that might be causing some significant stress in our lives, that's the time when people tend to turn to their coping skills, whether they're healthy or unhealthy. And sometimes those coping skills can include thoughts of self-harm and suicide. When a person feels like they're at the end of their rope, when they have reached the point where they feel that they're hopeless or they're a burden on other people, we have to be on the lookout for things that they say, like, I've always thought that I'd be better off, or you'd be better off without me. I have no reason to live. I feel like I'm a burden on others. I feel like I'm trapped. I just have this unbearable pain. These are the things, if we hear someone saying things like this, these are red flags. We have to be on the lookout for these red flags because they are warning signs. Some other warning signs might not have to do with what people say, but more with what they do. So if we witness that someone's using more drugs or alcohol, if they're abusing their prescription pain medication or the prescription medications, if they're looking for a way to end their life, such as searching online for methods, if you find that they're withdrawing from activities that they've typically enjoyed, hobbies or things that they've normally always liked to do, but they pull away from those. If you see that a person is isolating from their friends or family, and that's atypical, if that's not something they normally do, if you see someone who's drawing into themselves, that could be a red flag. Or if they're visiting or calling people to say goodbye, if it feels like they're making plans to update their will or giving away their prized possession, those can also be red flags for people's behavior. So we need to look out for people's moods as well. People who are considering suicide often display one or more of the following moods. They may be more depressed than normal. They may seem more down or sad or hopeless. They may seem more anxious or more worried. They may have a loss of interest in their activities or a loss of interest in connecting with family. They may be more irritable. They may discuss humiliation or shame. They may seem more agitated or more angry. Sometimes we'll even see people who have been struggling suddenly start to feel better or have a better outlook. And unfortunately, this may look like an improvement, but sometimes it's because the person has made the final decision to end their life and they've come to peace with that decision. So we have to be able to ask those hard questions. And here's the thing. It's difficult to think that one of our friends or family members may be considering suicide. But we have to be able to say, are you okay? Are you thinking about hurting yourself? Is there something that I can do to help? You're asking someone to just be open and honest with you. It's not easy to ask that question, but here's what's even harder. It's harder to hear the answer. And so sometimes we don't ask because we're not ready to hear the answer, but we have to be prepared to take action if we do. So let's say that if an individual approaches you and they just want to talk, and you get to the point where you're ready to ask that difficult question, hey, are you considering suicide? And they say, yeah, I've kind of had that thought lately. I'm not really ready to take action on it, but I've really seriously been thinking about it. But I would really like for you to keep that to yourself. Don't tell anybody. As my friend, please don't tell anyone that I'm considering suicide. So this is a difficult situation to be put into. And a lot of us are worried about our security clearance or about how we might be viewed by others in a time like this. So we're reluctant to reach out for help. We're reluctant to seek help. And we sure don't want anyone to think that we're defective or weak, or that we're having a hard time with this situation or with any other situation that's going on. So if a person comes to you with a suicidal intent or suicidal thoughts, and they say to keep it to themselves or keep it to yourself, I encourage you to break that trust. I encourage you to reach out for help. I encourage you to get your friend the help they need. Encourage them to go. If they won't go, then you have to let someone know. Because it's going to be better for you to lose a friendship over a broken trust than to lose a friend to suicide. So if you have any questions about suicide, if you have any thoughts that someone may be considering suicide, I encourage you to reach out to the National Suicide Hotline, which is 1-800-273-8255, and this will be on the screen. That's 1-800-273-8255, and then press 1 if you're a veteran or a military like we are. So, and if you don't feel like calling the suicide hotline and you just want to talk to someone, reach out to me day or night. My contact information is going to be on the screen, and that's what we're here for. We're here to help you work through these issues, okay? So now if a person tells you that they're having thoughts of suicide, the first thing we do is we reassure them, and we let them know that we're there for them. Then the next thing we do is we keep them safe. You don't let them out of your sight until you come to a resolution, whether that's you're both going someplace where you can get some help, you're both going to contact me, you're both going to reach out to the chain of command, whatever it is. But at that point, you don't leave that person alone, okay? All right, thank you, racers. It's been my pleasure to address this issue with you. It's a very sensitive topic, But if you have any questions, please reach out to me. Thank you.